Hello guys, and welcome to the rigging tutorial. This one we're gonna go for the foot rigging. So to rig the foot, we also want both IK and FK. For IK, it's gonna be really complicated because we want to be able to rotate the foot based on different angle. For FK though, we just need one more controller for this guy. Okay, and because of that, let's focus on the IK first. So let me swap my controller to IK mode. I need a bunch of anchor points, anchor points for my IK to rotate based on. I'm going to use locator for those anchor points, although you can use anything else that does have a translate. So I'm going to go create locators, and this one will be called locator left foot ankle, and then group it and call this guy GRP. Okay, and then I'm gonna make it look bigger by changing its local scale to something bigger, and then I'm gonna grab the group and then my ankle joint. It doesn't matter which one because they're all identical on the ankle. I'm gonna go for modify match transformations and match all transforms to match my ankle there. Now because I align my ankle in a straight up and down, left and right way, so it's pretty good for others. I'm gonna grab that and then shift select my bow, and then let me go, actually duplicate it. So let me duplicate my locators group, and this one is for the bow, so I'm gonna rename ankle to bow. Okay, and this one goes to the bow joint. Modify match transformation, but this time I'm gonna only match translations. I think that's good enough. And then I'm gonna go duplicate one more time and then move it to where my foot will be rotate based on the in the front. So somewhere, I think here will be actually a good position. And I'm gonna rename this guy locator left foot toe, and then toe GRP. Okay, and then duplicate one more time and move it to the back of the heel, somewhere here, the back part that is touching the ground, maybe somewhere around here. Doesn't have to be precise. Let me call this one heel. Okay, and then heel GRP. And then I need two more. One for the inside of the foot, which should be, if we go to the front view, I should put it somewhere here. And then one more for the outside, which will be somewhere there. Alright, maybe I can bring them forward. Alright, and then let me rename those. This one will be locator left foot inside, and the other one, I think you guessed it, that's outside. So this one is outside, and also outside here. Alright, so that's all 6 locators. They're all the same orientation, which is aligned with the ankle, but they're different locations. Let me drag the ankles group, minimal drag it, and put it underneath my bow locator, and then do the same thing from the bow to the toe, from toe to heel, from heel to inside. Just keep drag the top one to the second one, and you will end up with a hierarchy like this. Alright, let me go grab my FK controller, my IK controller here, and parent that entire group to the IK ankle controller because I want the foot to follow the IK, of course. Alright, and then the IK handle though, I want it to actually follow my locator ankles, so let me drag it to there underneath it. Now my locators are able to control the ankles, the IK handles location at least. And one more thing I want to do is instead of using my controller to do that orange constraint on my IK Java joint, if you look at my IK Java joint right inside of this group, it's being orange constrained by the IK controller here. I'm not gonna do that anymore, so delete it. The actual constraint will then come from the last locator here of the ankle, and then the ankle will do a orange constraint on the IK ankle driver joint. So rigging constraint orange. So basically what we're doing here is replacing what this guy was doing with its locator, and then also parent this entire group underneath the IK ankle controller. So that way, because this guy is the children of my controller, so the controller does the same thing, nothing is different on this part. But now we have all those locators to rotate our foot based on those different pivots. That's the point of having all those locators, and that's why we also need the last locator here to control or to do whatever this guy was doing earlier, which is having IK handle underneath it, and then also have a orange constraint on the IK driver joint. Alright, I need one more control for the toe here. So let me go create one more controller called AC left foot ball, and then Control G to group it, and then also rename that ball GRP, and then that one will be matched to the ball controller, the ball joint. So modify, match transformation, and match all transform to match it there, and then I'm gonna go grab the vertices and make it bigger, drag it down, just reshape it to whatever shape you think is proper for that controller. Oops, don't want that. Let me grab everything here and drag it up and maybe forward a little bit. And maybe I can drag that one inwards and those two outwards and the others inwards. Okay, and that one go forward. Alright. And then this guy will have a orange constraint on the joint, of course. So constraint orange, and that's this part. So now we have this guy to control the toe, and because of that, because of this controller is locking using orange constraint on this joint, now I can rotate my ball locator, and that one is still locked. Okay, so now I have this one to control the toe, but I have that one to be able to do the ball rotation only. But one more problem I'm having here is the upper stream locators are still are no longer controlling that part either. So I need to make my locator to be able to control this part when I rotate it from toe and all the way to the inside and outside and heel. You know, those ones are supposed to be rotating everything, but they're not because of the locking by the orange constraint of this new controller. So how can I do that? Well, first of all, I'm not only needing it to follow IK when needed, I also want it to follow FK when FK mode is on. So I need actually two inputs for this controller. Let me group it and rename that new group follow GRP, and then duplicate its follow GRP twice. And let me open those two and delete the controllers I duplicated, and this follow GRP will be named FK follow GRP, and the other follow GRP will be renamed IK follow GRP. And then I can grab both, and then my controllers group, that new follow group I just grouped, and then I can go for a constraint orange to do the orange constraint on it. Now all those both of those groups are having orange constraint on it, and they're having 1 as a weighting, so they both have 50% control of the controller now. Alright, so this one, this FK one will be distributed to the FK ankle controller, which is this guy here. Let me just minimouse drag it underneath my FK left ankle controller. The other one goes underneath the toe locator. Alright, and then eventually I need to use the slider to control the weighting of IK and FK inputs for this orange constraint. Okay, let me go there and find out my reverse and the slider here. I know that the reverse is, I'm not sure, should be controlling the visibility of the controller screw, but I didn't see those. Let me see. Oops, shouldn't do that. Let me take a look. So here my FK's, oh, it's here actually. So FK's visibility is being controlled by the output X of the reverse. That means the FK's constraint here, let me see where it is. It's over there, right? That constraint I just did. Its FK will also be controlled by the output X. So cannot see that. So if you cannot see stuff, you can drag it longer. Okay. So X goes to FK, and the original translate X on my slider goes to the IK's input. Oops, doesn't do that. Let me click. Okay, now it's connected. Okay, so now the slider is defining the IK/FK's weighting on the orange constraint, meaning that I can always make it follow the system I'm turning on. So now my FK should be working. Sorry, my IK should be working, and then my FK should also be working. So that controller on the toe is now following both IK and FK. Of course, it's only on the rotation wise because that's only a orange constraint. To make it follow the joint, we can just grab the joint and then the group again here and do one more point constraint, and that's gonna make it follow like that. Alright, we can also switch back to IK, and IK will work too. Alright, so that's basically the controllers and the locators that we have to create. After that, we just need to do some set-driven keys to use some new attribute to drive the rotation of those locators. Let me go for animation key, set driven key, and set. The driver will be our controller here, and then the driven ones will be those locators, but I need some attributes. So let me go for add attribute, and this new one will be called left. I don't have a left, I don't need left actually, just ball lift, and then it's gonna go from 0 to 10. Add. I need another one called toe lift. It's gonna go for -10 to 10, and then toe sweep, or anything you wanted to call it. I'm just gonna call it sweep to go left and right. Okay. So toe have two attributes. You know what? I think I need actually the space. So let me redo that. Ball lift 0 to 10, right? And then yes, toe lift -10 to 10, and then toe sweep -10 to 10, heel lift -10 to 10, and then heel sweep -10 to 10, and then in tilt inside outside -10 to 10, and then I'm gonna put one more called walking poses, and this one is gonna be -10 to 20, and then add. Whoops, I think I named those wrong. But yeah, let's just keep that way. I would suggest you to have underscore there, otherwise it doesn't have that space inside of it. You can of course rename it. Maybe here go to edit attributes and then grab the name and then just put in a underscore there to fix it? Yeah, I can do that. Not tile, tilt. Okay, and then working poses. Alright, so you can rename things by going to edit and edit attributes, or you can even define their min and maximum if you think something is wrong there on the range. But anyway, let me do set driven keys. My driver will be this controller and the driven ones. Let's go for ball first. So driven one will be the ball, and rotation Z will be driven by the ball lift attribute from my controller. Let me key first, and then change my value to 10, and then go here and rotate it up to maybe 60 degrees, and then key it. Now I have that attribute to control this ball lift, and then toe lift. Okay, will be this guy here, driving the toe locator, solo driven, rotation Z first, key it, and go change the lift all the way up to 10. We're gonna rotate it up like that, maybe 60 degrees also. Key it, and then go back and change the toe lift back to -10, and I'm gonna go for the other direction. But this time it's gonna go like this because we don't have stretching there yet, so we can only have this for now, but that we can just kit at least, so we can kit at least, but we can have stretching later on, so it will actually go down. Let me kit it one more time, and then we have the toe lifting, and then let's do the toe sweeping. Toe sweeping will do the constraint on the X direction, so let me grab the X and then key it, and then go back to the toe sweep and change that to 10, and then go change the rotation X to this direction, maybe 50 degrees, and then key it, and then go back to -10, and that's gonna go for the other direction, maybe the same amount, so -50, and then key one more time. Alright, so the sweeping works. Let's move on to the heel. So heel lifting will be the heel locator being driven, and Z first, key it, and then go back to the controller and change the heel lift to 10, and here it's gonna go up, so maybe -45, it's probably a lot already, so maybe let's see, oh, it's actually okay, we don't have stretching, so that's why it's going up at some point. Let me just key it for now, so 10, and then -10 is gonna go the other direction, right? So maybe 30 degrees. And let me key one more time. Alright, now we have this. And then the heel sweeping will be, I guess, X direction, right? So X heel sweeping, key it, and then go change that to 10, and we're gonna sweep it this way, maybe -90 degrees. Key it again here, and then go back to -10, and that's gonna rotate it to the other direction, 90 degrees. Okay, now we have tilt inside and outside. That's gonna be those two locators, load driven, and I'm gonna do the same attribute, which is the rotation Y. Okay, rotation Y, key them using the tilt inside outside, and then change that to 10. I'm gonna grab the outside one and then rotate it that way, maybe 30 degrees. Key it, and then also maybe we can key both, and then go back to -10, and that guy will go -30 degrees, and then we can key them again. Now we have the tilting. And then eventually the working poses are for the animator to have all working poses necessary to be controlled all by one attribute. I'm gonna go use that to drive these three locators. So the ball the toe, and then the heel. So all three of those, let's key on the Z, and then I'm gonna change that to -10, and that's gonna actually just raise the heel, okay, to maybe -30. Let me key it, and then go back to -10. Right. Let me key everything here, but I'm gonna go for the ball, go up maybe 45 degrees, and then key it, actually key everything, and then go to the controller again and drag it all the way up to 20. And this time I'm gonna actually first make ball go back to 0, key it, and then actually key everything, and then rotate the toe up maybe 60 degrees maybe, and key it one more time, actually key everything one more time. Now we have that one, which has all the poses I need for a working animation. Okay, so that's everything I need you to do for the foot rig. When you're done with everything, you can then go add the locators group to add that. And one more controller here we created, we can put it also underneath the leg rig group, maybe underneath the controllers group to organize it. And we're done with the foot rigging. So now we have IK, and we have this FK always be there. So this one you can call it an offset, so it's not IK or FK, it's both. So we'll follow both IK or FK. Right, like this, like an extra offset. And in the IK mode, you can also have those attributes to tilt the foot in all different ways. Alright, so that's the entire setup of this part. And your assignment is, of course, do the same thing on the other side of the foot. So both foot should have eventually ends up with the same setup. And that's gonna be for it today. The next in the next tutorial, we're gonna go for the clavicle and the neck. We'll finish the entire body, and then we can move on to facial expressions. Okay, thanks for watching, and I'm gonna see you in the next tutorial.